Mark Z today and start packing.
Get the C guarantee. Call Mark Z. Call 844-SOLID.
Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers want to get you back on the road again. We're open and ready to put you in the driver's seat of a brand new Chevy. So hurry in and check out our award-winning lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Then put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
The highways and the freeways try to map you, baby. I got your back.
Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers have got your back and are ready to put you in the driver's seat with the Chevy Trax. Trax is the SUV that's made for the city. Its compact size not only makes it fun to drive, but it fits into those tight spaces bigger SUVs have to pass by. And with 8 different ways to reconfigure the interior, Chevy Trax is the small, compact SUV for all your big city adventures. Hurry in for Chevy's open road sales event. Lease a 2020 Trax LT front-wheel drive for just $222 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. Leases for a 2020 Trax LT front-wheel drive for 24 months, 10,000 miles per year. For well-qualified customers with a GM lease in the household. 0 due at lease signing after all offers, plus title, tax, and dock fees. No security deposit. Program subject to change without notice and certain restrictions may apply. See participating dealer for details. Offer ends August 31st, 2020.
Coronavirus testing in Michigan has expanded. To learn if a test is right for you, call a healthcare provider or contact a testing site. To find a site and learn more about testing, visit michigan.gov/coronavirus test.
Now, text or call the ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797.
Show on 97.1 The Ticket. All right, we've been doing these countdowns for the greatest number in Detroit/Michigan sports history. We started about 5-6 weeks ago. We do a couple a week, and we're down to number 17. We started at 1, so we're up to number 17. Yes, it would be the correct parlance. Now I look at number 17, and I don't see a lot of greatness. I see a lot of really good, but I don't see a lot of greatness. Might have some close votes. So the 5 that I think should be considered, and we'll have to figure out which one of those does not make it. And John might have some as well. The people who I'm not considering who were number 17 include Tony Clark, include former Michigan kickoff and punt returner. He had a really good pro career with the 49ers and their first Super Bowl teams in the 80s, Dwight Hicks, but he was not really that great at Michigan.
No, his was a pro career.
Right. Chucky Atkins actually played 1 year as number 17, but most of his Piston career was number 7, and that wasn't great to begin with. So there's Tyreek Thompson of Michigan State. But here we go. There's the great also Shane Halter. Shane Halter wore number 17, and he played every position in one game. But to me, even though he would qualify for the greatest jerk, scumbag, rip-off human being in Michigan, number 7, Dennis Dale McClain. Denny McClain has to be on that list. You know, he won last pitcher in Major League history to win 30 games. He was winning 31 in 1968. Don't forget, he also won 24 in 69. He won 20 games in 66. McClain is a no-brainer. One to be considered is Brett Hall. Brett Hall played only 3 years. Hall did win a Stanley Cup and have 92 regular season goals. Brett Hall, in my opinion, should be on here. The other one who should be definitely on here, with over 200 goals as a Red Wing, and he was tough as hell. People forget about that. He was a tough SOB. Gerard Gallant. Gerard Gallant was a really good hockey player. Not a great hockey player, a good player. Might be the head coach of this team someday. You never know. I think Gerard Gallant. So, in my mind, so we have 3 that I think has to be on here, and there's 2 that you can take, and I understand. One is Eric Hipple. Eric Hipple's gone through a lot, and that some mental problems. Eric Kipple was a quarterback a decent amount of time, 6, 7 years, maybe even longer than that. But Eric Kipple's touchdown to pass interception, touchdown to interception ratio is bad. I mean, he had more interceptions than touchdowns. That is bad.
53% completion percentage.
Yes.
Not great.
And the other one who I think should be considered was the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten in 2001. And I might be biased because I like him so much. And that would be Larry Foote.
Homegrown.
Yeah. Larry Foote. So those are the 5 that I think deserve definite consideration. John, do you have anybody to add to this?
Well, as you mentioned, I wanted to go in the way back machine, and everybody knows that I love my history. We could have talked to Mick McCabe for hours, and when I saw we were going to do number 17, you go back to Frederick Lee, better known as Ted Petoskey, at the University of Michigan, 3-sport star, and it just, when you look at what he grew up in Michigan, Saginaw Eastern School, obviously played all 3 sports at Michigan, was, I believe, a professional baseball player, which I know that he played for the Reds, for the doctor, but what he did at Michigan was, he played for Benny Usterbon, and also, gosh, there was one other thing that I saw when I was looking at him. Obviously all Big Ten, most valuable player. Harry Kipke was the coach and shifted him to fullback. I can't remember where that extra little tidbit was, but he was an All-American. He was, and I know that this was more common back in prior to 1950. But can you imagine trying to be a 3-sport star?
Oh, in college.
And just in college, that's to me is amazing. So I'd put him on the list. Obviously, he doesn't rise to the level of a Brett Hull, who won a Stanley Cup. Even Denny McClain, and you touched on some of the issues that he's had, but he's also a World Series champ.
Yes, there's no
Cy
doubt.
Young. There's just there's so many great players, and I thought you bringing up Gerard Gallant, I didn't know that you were going to mention him. I think he is right up there, and you could argue that maybe he belongs above Brett Hull, not as a hockey player, but just for the simple fact that he meant probably more to the Red Wings than Brett Hull did over the length of his career.
In that time period, he was arguably, for some of those years, their second best player besides Eisner. You could argue that. All right, so we're going to decide momentarily who the 4 are. We do have a suggestion from What's up, Jeff?
Hey, Tony, how are you, brother?
I'm all right.
Hey, my condolences to Jamie and the family, man.
Thank you very much. It's been a tough week, and you can watch the memorial service /funeral, the stream. The link is on the website at 971theticket.com. So who's your 17 that we forgot?
My 17, don't know if you guys know him, but my nomination is Joe Youngblood from Central Michigan University. He was the quarterback there. He won up Central beat Michigan State 2 years in a row, probably back in 91, 92, maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stats here because it was up on the board, so I wanted to check it out, see if we omitted him. I don't think so. He only really played 2 years. His touchdown interception ratio, 35 to 29, and his completion percentage was 57.9%. So I'm sure he was a good quarterback. I don't remember him per se, but I don't think, unfortunately for you, Jeff, he belongs on the ballot. So basically what we have to do, John, I think, is decide. I think we all agree on McClain. We all agree on Brett Hull. I think, Greg, we agree on Gerard Gallant. So we have to decide between Eric Hipple and Larry Foote.
I would say Larry Foote.
Hipple gets the longevity, but the touchdown interception return is just ratio. And despite that great Monday night game when he came out of nowhere, that's the big highlight. I think you have to go Larry Foote, don't you?
I would agree. And by the way, I don't like the longevity argument when you play pros versus college. Larry Foote played as long as he could at the University of Michigan. I would put Larry Foote.
Exactly. And here's Eric Hipple played as long as like Brandon Inge. Brandon Inge made the list, but still, it's definitely all right. So there's our 4 on the Twitter poll: Denny McClain, Brett Hull, Gerard Gallant, or Larry Foote. There you go. And vote shortly. Jamie and Stoney on the Twitter page. I'll retweet it, and John will retweet it so other places can find, and we can get the votes in and find out who the best number 17 is in Detroit / Michigan sports history. Hopefully we didn't skip anybody, miss anybody, because sometimes the research fails. I looked a little Western football. I couldn't find anybody. I didn't find anybody in Eastern as well. 97-1.
What are you waiting for? It only takes an hour for you to have your child's heart screened. Get your kid's heart checked at the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Details at 971theticket.com. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk, this is 97.1 The Ticket.
This update is brought to you by Miller Landscaping. As expected, Big Ten officials confirmed in a release yesterday they've made the decision to postpone the 2020 college football season and will now look to move all of the conference's fall sports to the spring. Here's Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren.
This is an uncertain time, not only in our country, it's an uncertain time in our 11 states where our 14 schools are located, but it's an uncertain time in our world. And so we're doing everything we possibly can to gather the best advice to make the best decision based upon where we are.
Statement issued soon after that decision was announced, Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh admitted that while he understood why the decision was made, he was still disappointed the Big Ten won't be playing football this fall. The Tigers have their 4-game winning streak ended last night as they lose to the Chicago White Sox 8-4. The Sox would put this game away early by scoring 4 runs in the first inning off starter Tyler Alexander. Another day of workouts will take place for the Lions today as training camp continues at the team's complex in Allen Park. Finals from round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs last night in 5 overtimes. Tampa Bay downs Columbus 3-2. Vegas stuns Chicago 4-1. Calgary knocks off Dallas 3-2. At the ticket update desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
Jamie and Stoney on 97.1 The Ticket.
Good morning. It is Wednesday. This is Stoney with Heather and John Jansen, Greg Hargrave running the show, and hope everybody's doing okay. Yesterday was a very weird and sad day in a lot of aspects of our lives. Heather and I attended the funeral service, memorial service for Jamie, and it was uplifting in certain aspects. I mean, Wojo's eulogy was unbelievable. We'll talk to him later in the program,
Yes.
as was expected. Jamie's wife, Christy, was just, I mean, the strength that she had to tell the stories that she had, and her daughter went up a little story as well for a prayer, threw in a, for my dad, can we have winning seasons from the Cal Bears, Northwestern, and the Lions get to the Super Bowl, you know? So I thought that was
It was
pretty
beautiful.
cool. It really was. Although we're still trying to figure out why Jeff Rieger decided to come dressed as a movie usher.
Or a wedding singer. That's what I kept seeing him as.
So you guys, we were talking about this before we went on the air, and I wasn't able to be there yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to watch because all the news that was breaking. But please describe to me.
So, I mean, the color scheme I could handle. So he wore this like burgundy suit coat.
It wasn't burgundy like your former
My
football
Washington
team.
Football Club?
Yeah,
I've got
right.
a burgundy jacket.
Right.
I could go.
No, it wasn't quite like that. It was more plum, I guess, or
Yes.
like a deep purple.
Yeah, right.
And then it was the cut of the suit coat wasn't your typical cut. It just, I don't know. And then it had this pinstripe, a black pinstripe around the side of the jacket.
With black pants. It looked like he was working at a movie. He was a movie theater.
It was very different, but he did match his wife because his wife wore the exact opposite. She had burgundy or whatever plum pants on and a black top, so they were kind of opposite. So they did match, but it was a very interesting look.
For a funeral.
Yes.
See, Rieger is somebody, he loves, kind of like me in a weird way. He doesn't mind. He's so self-deprecating that I don't mind making fun of it. And then, you need a little laugh on this day. Seeing Jamie's parents there, it was heartbreaking. The amount of people I understand who watched it online was overwhelming. It got like more hits at one point than what the Big Ten did yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
So that was kind of bizarre. So that's how we started our day, and then some of us went to my wife, the Riegers actually, and Jennifer Hammond, Mojo, and Kyle Bogey. We went to lunch afterwards. I had a vodka gimlet in Jamie's honor.
Nice.
And then we leave there, get in the car, go home, and we hear the news of the Big Ten doing what we all thought they would. We thought it was going to be a Hail Mary with Harbaugh and Scott Frost and Ryan Day and some of the players. We didn't think that was going to happen, but it did. I mean, we thought it was going to happen, but still, when you get the finality of it, it just sucked. And John, you're obviously closer to it than I am. You worked at Schembechler Hall, did the broadcast, you played in Michigan. Look, selfishly, as a fan, damn it, I want football. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. But I'm not pissed at certain people. I'm just pissed at the situation. I'm pissed at COVID. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, there's certain people say, well, if we did the right thing like other countries and other areas, we wouldn't have this problem. We'd be playing football. I don't want to go and play the blame game for that because we know what it was. What I'm very disappointed in for the Big Ten and the Pac-12 that followed is the fact that, okay, they came out with the schedule last week and rightfully, made the schedule with off weeks, things like that, where, you could maneuver if you had problems. And to me, you have to wait and see what happens on your campuses once the kids get back to class. And why they had to be done yesterday makes no sense to me. I think they should have waited a couple of weeks. Now, conversely, you might say, well, if that's what you wanted to do, why wait a few weeks and then even tease the kids even more? But I just think they could have waited a little bit and given it done.
Every day gives you more information, more data, more numbers that you can utilize in the assessment of, is this going to be safe? Can we possibly do this? And I'm not, again, like you said, I don't want to play the blame game. I don't want to be the guy that's angry at an individual because this is something that is 100% out of our control in regards to the fact that we have the coronavirus in the United States. But